Since Sword and Shield's build-up, Pokemon's been quite controversial. I'm not about to go into the National Dex movement or all that stuff you've heard before. Today, we're speaking about the future of the franchise by analyzing the game coming out in just a few days, Pokémon Legends Arceus. Let me show you why we've got a reason to be concerned. Take a look at this clip from our last video.
With the sole exception of Pokémon Legends Arceus, games in development since Japan's COVID outbreak all took or are taking longer to make relative to their franchise's history.
See that? Pokémon is the only big Nintendo name taking less time to make on Switch. Why is that? Back then, we found Nintendo's most popular series are taking 0.69 additional years on average to get their latest games on Switch. Pokémon games take about 2.72 years to make, and don't worry, I'll explain how we got that number in a second. Just hear me out first. So 2.72 years, plus an additional 0.69 years as a new Switch release, Arceus should take around 3.41 years or 3 years, 5 months. 2 years, 2 months. Yeah, that's what Arceus has taken. Now, to its credit, Pokemon's other mainline Switch games, Sword and Shield, didn't cross that 3-year mark either, but even those games still took 2 years, 6 months. So why is this brand new wacky looking Pokemon game, what they're calling a mainline entry, taking less time to make than even their last title? Game Freak made Sword and Shield, they're making this one too. As far as we know, nothing's changed. And yet, something's not right. To find Pokemon's average development time, we looked back at its 3 most recent mainline entries, excluding Arceus, and then subtracted the date development started from the time of their release. By doing this, we found how long each of these individual games took to make. Then, by averaging out those 3, we got our 2.72 years from before. Unfortunately, I can't claim our started development numbers are perfect. Pokemon's production cycle is weird. Anyone who's done research into this topic can tell you that. See, the thing is, there's never just one Pokemon game in the pipelines. The team is always split between mainline and side projects, including both remakes and spin-offs. Not to mention, it's so hard to narrow down when pre-production versus full production begins. There's a lot of conflicting data arguing over when a new game's creation started. And no, this isn't something silly like Pokemon's producers not knowing what they're talking about in interviews. It's arguable that the game's creation process began at a bunch of different points, in some cases as early as when the previous game was being promoted. Let me explain. The series producer, Junichi Masuda, often gets inspiration for his sequel's locale while sharing a current game's progress. So while marketing for Diamond and Pearl, Masuda visited New York, which inspired Black and White. While promoting Black and White, Masuda was famously captured by the beauty of France, which inspired X and Y. I actually found a fascinating theory about Gen 9 while researching this. Look up Pokemon and Redwood, California if you're interested. But I digress. The point is that a Pokemon start date is incredibly difficult to narrow down. While making our last video, we looked at like a dozen franchises. Among them, if there's one series where our numbers are inaccurate, it's this one. So who's to say? Maybe, hopefully, we're worried over nothing. Even still, other creators have expressed fears over Arceus' frame rate, graphics, whether the world will be empty, etc. We'll have our answer in a few days, but maybe consider this data just one more reason to temper your expectations.